Felicitations Adventures. Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where I play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players. Tonight, the assorted players is me, because I'm playing a single-player tabletop RPG called The Magical Year of a Teenage Witch, which has been so much fun to play. Let me go ahead and get that in the chat. The link to how you can get this game for yourself. It's been super fun, and tonight I'm gonna be finishing my playthrough. If you haven't caught any of my previous playthroughs of this game, or previous sessions, I guess, not playthroughs of this game, you can, my cat, you can, they're both, I believe, still up on, actually, yes, they are both still up on my Twitch VODs, so if you look at my previous, broadcasts, you can find them there. The first one is called Taylor the Teenage Witch, and the second one I think I accidentally titled, Spring and Summer as a Teenage Witch, but it was actually fall, or autumn. And then they're also on my YouTube channel, Roll for Felicity, and those ones are, I think, just labeled like Spring as a Teenage Witch or Spring and Summer or something like that. I should have double checked before I went live, but I didn't, so here we are. So that means that today, I am finishing through this playthrough, and it's winter in game. And what the game is, if you're not familiar, is it's kind of a journaling game a little bit. And you basically take a year as a teenager, and as a teenage witch. And the idea behind the game is that witches have to spend a year outside of their home, like, at some point when they're a teenager, to learn more about the world, learn more about themselves, about their powers. And so you play through each season, and then there is a end of the year thing that you do. And there's prompts, so I have a D8 and a D6 that I'll be rolling to go forward or back that number of prompts. You roll the D8 and then subtract the D6, is how it works. And also, if any of this sounds familiar to you, it might be because the system is based on A 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, which is another game that I've played on stream that was very fun. But I've really been enjoying playing this. Sky, who wrote the game, has popped in for some of the streams, which has been really nice. And actually, if you click the link to their itch for Magical Year of a Teenage Witch, you might notice a familiar face on there, because they put the first YouTube video of my playthrough on the itch page, which is wonderful. It's been very nice. I did not know him before playing this game, and it was really cool to connect. Anyway, with that all being said, what you can see on screen is the journal, sort of, that I've done so far. So I'm playing Felicity Taylor. I'm 16. I'm very loud. I read a lot of books. Hilarious perfectionist. In-game, I have a short pink bob. I wear a lot of overalls and pinafore dresses. Lots of pastels. And in-game, I wear a big gray sun hat with a light pink bow. I don't have that in real life, but for this playthrough, I am wearing a little sun hat that I have, even though it's winter in-game. And then you can also see I have spellbook entries. And I also have different memories. And then I can convert those memories into powers, and then convert powers into spells. And then I also have characters and locations that I can do the same. Skills, resources. I can convert some of those things into powers as well. I do have last session I finished with autumn. And I rolled to get into winter. So I'm on prompt 64, which is the first prompt. It's not the first prompt for winter, but it's the first prompt I'm doing for winter. This prompt is, you get together to hang out with some friends. Where do you go to enjoy the snow and then warm up after? Add or mark 2 locations. One of your friends asks if you'll be leaving at the end of your magical year. How do you respond to mark a character? Huh. Well, I think who I would be there with would probably be, I don't have, like, that many friends my age. I have one friend my age. I have my familiar. Oh, I should also say, this little frog on screen, where would that be? Here. Why am I pointing with that hand? This little frog. It was drawn by Goblin Girl Gaming. And is not my familiar, but is my friend Millie's familiar named Gerb, who is kind of a mischief maker last session, named by Sleep Child. Chose the name Gerb, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay, so who do I have that could be with me at this thing? Okay, so the characters I have options from. My familiar, Alyssa, who's an old lady tabby cat. My mentor, Kathy Brown, my uncle Greg, and my uncle Danny. Peter, who's the child of my next door neighbor. Millie, who's my kind of best friend in the area, who's another teenage witch. Mildred, I'm assuming, is not gonna be there. She's Uncle Danny's mom, and she doesn't live in Chicago. She lives in a suburb. And then we also added, I think Whistle, Gerben, the Harbinger of Autumn, were all from last session. So Whistle is a polymorphed dragon caretaker, who takes care of like a dragon nursery, kind of. Gerb, I've mentioned. And then the Harbinger of Autumn is a spirit of autumn who has a pumpkin for a head. So that was all from last session. So who would be here? Definitely Millie. Probably Peter. Maybe we go sledding? That sounds fun. You get to go there to hang out with... Yeah, sledding. That's like so much fun. So I think if we're going sledding, Peter and Millie are definitely there. I think Gerb is maybe still missing. I can't remember if Gerb... So last session, Gerb took... yes, one night when Millie and I are having a sleepover, I wake up to see Gerb hopping away with my magic dough whisk. I use the Find Familiar spell to track him, only to see him rising into the air through some arcane combo of yeast and frog water. So I think maybe he's still missing. Let me check my memories and just make sure that I didn't mention Gerb again. I have dreams of Gerb in the Fey Realm, helping brownies to make brownies with my dough whisk. So that, I think, is the last we heard from Gerb. Let me just make sure. Yes. I think I think Gerb is still missing. Alyssa would be there. I think Greg, Danny, Peter, Millie, me, Alyssa are the people who are there. And so out of those people, I think, I think Peter asks if I'll be leaving. Because he's a little kid, and I think, like, I probably would have talked to my uncles about it, like, whether I'm leaving or not, and I think I've been assuming that I will. I think I've been assuming that this is temporary and I'm gonna be moving. And when Peter asks that, I think that's the first time I'm really thinking of, like, what if I did stay? Like, what if I did stay in Chicago? And then, so the first thing I need to do is add a location, or mark a location, but I think I need to add, it's probably not at the state park, not at the Museum of Natural History. I think I'm gonna add a location for the sledding hill. everyone in my neighborhood comes to this hill to sled. I think it's in a park. To go sledding. It just reminds me of like when I was a kid, there was a really big sledding hill not too far from me that like everyone would go to, and people would bring, like, there would be like college students who would bring like a giant inner tube, and they would all get on this like huge inner tube and like sled down the hill, and you get knocked over by this like giant like, I don't even know like what it was. It seemed like it was like literally the inside of a tire that was huge. So I think that's like what it's like. That is like pretty crowded. People are getting knocked over all the time, but everyone's having a good time. And so I think that's the new location. It's very busy, but cheerful, and everyone is good time. I feel like that doesn't really describe what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking of like, it's kind of like carefree, like everyone's just kind of doing their own thing, and like everyone's tired and cold, but also they don't want to like be done yet, and you have to like, everyone kind of bonds because you have to walk up this giant hill together for like, you know, 30 seconds of the excitement of going down it. Yeah. So Peter asks if I'll be leaving at the end of my magical year. I think the place we go together afterwards is the pizza place. Italo's Pizza. Oh wait, I can't mark a location twice. Could go to the sushi place. Oh, we could go to the Dragon Hatchery. Ooh. Or we could go back to my uncle's place and have hot chocolate. We have to go to the Dragon Hatchery for hot chocolate, I feel like. Oh wait, can I? Yeah. Because it's not, magic isn't secret. Like, the Dragon Hatchery is kind of secret, but the only person who wouldn't already know about it would be Peter. And he's just a kid. So I think Whistle invites us over, like after knows that we were going sledding. Because I did get Whistle a special teapot for their birthday. Let me see. I have it written down. For Whistle's birthday, I get them a kettle and mug. The kettle is shaped like a dragon. Steam comes out of its nose when the water is ready. The mug changes color from green to have green and gold scales when there's hot water in it. So I think, especially with like that fun thing, we have to go over to Whistle's afterwards. So I'm gonna mark the Dragon Hatchery. Okay, I already did that. And while we're all sitting around having hot chocolate and tea and like warm drinks and like eating, Peter asks that if I'm gonna stay, and everyone just kind of looks at me, and I feel like this is the first time I like don't really know what I want to do. I hadn't thought about staying. And so I think I just kind of shrug. Because I can tell Peter wants me to say that I'm staying, but I haven't talked to my uncles about it, and I don't want to like, so I think I like kind of look at my uncles a little bit, like trying to see like how they're reacting, but they're just kind of looking at me. And then I think Millie starts talking, because I don't think she's gone on her magical year yet. So I think she starts talking about like her plans maybe next year. That's what she's gonna do. I don't think it's awkward, but I think it is like kind of melancholy. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark Peter. And then what kind of memory is this? Mystery, creativity, introspect. It is definitely introspective. So it could be a dark memory. It's probably not a light memory. I feel like gross. No, I don't really think it fits like that. I think it is a dark memory. So we will need to convert this into a power. Let me make sure that that's what I am doing. Convert one full memory into a new power. Okay. So this is interesting to do right at the top. So let me look back at what these previous dark memories are. While on a walk through Chicago after coming back from the suburbs over the summer, I stumble upon a building. Oh, so this is kind of about Whistle. So Whistle is a polymorph emerald dragon. And then Uncle Danny's mom. The leaves that I helped rake didn't decompose because I used my magic. I try to create a power to fix the situation, but I can't. The Harbinger of Autumn appears and uses some magical mushrooms that I gave them to help the leaves decompose. They give me some of the magical compost. And then Gerb hops away with my dough whisk. Okay, so this is a lot of like... what powers do I have right now? Nothing is jumping out at me. Okay, I have the restaurant radar ability. And I have the positive self-talk ability. So this is probably a spell. What spell would this be? Okay, so this is like making a friend or like finding hidden things. This is something about... Two of these are about gardening or disrupting things with a power. Okay. Gardening. The first one and the last one, I'm not thinking of something to tie those two in. The middle two are kind of like gardening. Okay. Here's the thing that kind of ties the last three together. It doesn't incorporate the first one. I don't know how to incorporate the first one. But three of these are kind of about things going wrong. So I wonder if there could be like I'm thinking like an undo kind of spell or like an erase kind of spell where it's like one, like you can, it's like maybe time related where you can like make time go back a little bit. Like if you mess something up, you have like a split second to like undo it. That seems really powerful though. So I feel like it has to be really limited. The other thing is the middle two are kind of like garden-y related. The first one and the last one are kind of like hidden things or like missing things. It could be some sort of... None of these are really feeling quite right. It could be some sort of like spell of like a divination kind of spell. I do already have one kind of well, actually, I actually have a couple of divinatory kind of things. I have the Find Familiar spell, which I can use to literally find a lost familiar or pet. And then I do also have this restaurant radar ability. Something with divination. Maybe something with finding hidden things. Maybe? Because Whistle was hidden. These middle two things aren't exactly hidden things, but they're like things that I didn't automatically realize. Like they were hidden aspects of my magic, kind of. And then the last one is Gerb, taking my dough whisk. So I think maybe something with finding hidden things. So let's, let me see. This is 10-point font. And then struck through. Let's go down to my powers. Reveal hidden things spell. I'm going to steal. Oh, I think I'm gonna steal this from Coraline because it was always something that I really liked about Coraline. Hello, Sleep Child. Yes, Gerb. All hail Gerb. How are you doing? I'm converting a memory into a power. And I think I'm gonna steal from Coraline how she has that rock with a hole in it, because I've always really liked that. And also Coraline's another like coming of age, like young person, like somewhere different than where they normally would be. And I think it's a spell. I think it's a spell that I can cast on a rock with a hole in it. That I can see things as they really are. Oh, is it just gonna be Gerbs all around? The only thing you can say. I cast the spell using a small rock with a natural hole in the middle of it. When I look through the rock, I can see things as they truly are. This is pretty powerful. So I think it only lasts for a few minutes and the rock disintegrates after. So I have to, in order to use it, I have to like always kind of be looking out for more of these rocks. And I also can't like, I can't make a hole in the rock. It has to be like, I find it that way. So I think that kind of makes it, you know, I think that kind of makes it not too OP. Okay, so I did that. Oh, excuse me. So now I have to go back to Dark Memories, and I'll just write this down really quick. I'll go back up to 15. Not struck through. 1. Oh. Oh, okay, that's not what I was supposed to do. That's why I need an undo spell. Okay, 1. That's... okay, so what happened? My uncles, Millie, Peter, Alyssa, and I went sledding, and after went to... Wait, am I supposed to add or mark 2 locations? Yeah, I did that right. My uncles, Millie, Peter, Alyssa, and I went sledding, and after went to Whistle's house for warm drinks. While there, Peter asked if I would be staying after this year, and I didn't know how to answer. So Millie started talking about what she's going to do for her magical year. Yeah. I think that's that prompt. I think we got that prompt. I really am wondering if Sleeptell is just only going to be saying Gerb. I've got a little piece of plastic on my desk and I do not know where it came from. Okay, let's roll for the next one. Okay, so I got an 8 on my D8 and 2 on my D6, so that means I'm gonna move forward 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 70 that I'm moving to, prompt 70. A school of snowfish are swimming through the area. How do you read what omen they foretell? Mark a skill. Ooh. Okay, okay. Okay, a school of snowfish. Well, first I think, what are snowfish? Because that's not a real thing, I don't think, right? So I get to decide what snowfish are. And I'm imagining... Oh wait, no, snowfish. Is snowfish a real thing? No. It's not. It's not a real thing. There's a company or something called Snowfish, I think. Oh wait, no, this is snowfish. Snowfish is an oil-rich fish that doesn't taste oily. Okay, what is? Is this real? I want it to not be real. I want it to be my own thing. So I think snowfish, because the nice thing is, like, it's a world where I don't have to be like, magic isn't secret, you know? It's not like I can have magical things happening and it's not like, oh no, then people are gonna know what, like, people are gonna know about the magic. So I think snowfish are a thing. And I think it's like, almost like an Aurora Borealis kind of thing, where it's like, maybe they're real creatures, well, I mean, Aurora Borealis, nobody thinks it's like a creature, but like, it's kind of like a natural phenomenon, but also they're like real, like they're like creatures that exist. And I think they swim through like they swim through like clouds or snow or something. They're like flying creatures, but they look like fish. And like they only can like migrate under certain conditions, maybe. Like, it has to be a certain temperature, it has to be snowing, it has to be this, it has to be that. And so I think it's like pretty rare. I think snowfish are pretty rare. So this happens. How do I read what omen they foretell? Mark a skill. Okay, what are my skills? How can I tie my skills into this? My skills are my skills are all marked. So if I can't mark a skill, I need to create a skill. I think, like, I feel like something divinatory now, because I'm kind of getting into multiple, like, divination things. So I think I'm just gonna say divination. Is that a... There we go. I did not spell it correctly. So I'm gonna add the skill of divination. What can I do with skills? I have so many skills right now, so I can... What can I do with marked skills? I think I can turn marked skills into enhanced powers, is what I think it is. Let me double check. Converting traits into powers. Convert 2 marked skills into... Oh, no! Convert 2 marked skills into 1 new power. So I could actually take 2 of these skills and convert them into a power, which I might do. I kind of have a lot of skills right now. Okay. So the skill I add is divination. What omen do they foretell? Also, let me know how the music is. I feel like it's a little bit loud. How do I foretell this? Well, if they're migrating, I feel like I take this to mean that I should keep moving. Like, I think I've kind of been assuming that I'm just going to go back home after this year. That I'm just going to, like, I'm just gonna go home. Like, I'm in Chicago. After this year, I'm gonna go back to where I'm from. And I think this is, like, I take this as a thing of, like, well, maybe, like, there's so much to the world. Maybe I should, like, go to a new place. Like, maybe after this year, I should not go back home or stay here. Like, maybe I should move to a new city or a new place. So I think that's what happens there. And I feel like this is maybe a light memory. Although it does tie to this. So I think I'm going to actually tie it to this. Because it is introspective. And it is mystery also, I feel like. So, that night, after I get home, I go out on the roof to think. And, I think it is like, there's something with the stars or something with like the sky when these snowfish are flying above me as the snow is coming down, that like the sky is illuminated somehow. Maybe the fish themselves like kind of illuminate the sky, and see the snowfish migrating above me, and have the thought that maybe I should keep traveling to more new places after this year. Okay, so that's that prompt. I believe I've done it. I believe I've done it. That's an interesting one. Okay, so I've got 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm on 73. Oh, that's interesting. The next one, I didn't finish reading it, but it is a travel one. 71, 72, 73. You travel somewhere. Oh, thank you, Mila. Yeah, I don't wear this hat that often because, like, when I wear it, like, out, it blows off my head. But I was like, well, I don't have to worry about that here. I do have to worry about the lighting, but thank you. And also, hello, how are you? My internet, like, stopped working while I was watching you play, the Turnip Boy game. Like, I was watching when you were going back and getting, like, leftover stuff, and my internet just stopped working, and by the time I, like, finished figuring out why my internet wasn't working, I think you were done streaming. Honestly, I think I was just, like, working on it for so long, but I hope that the playthrough, the rest of I think you were close to wrapping up when the stream stopped for me. Yeah. My router has started doing this thing where I think I may just have to, like, reset my router, but it keeps doing this thing where, like, I get this error message that's like, oh, you're, like, this device is not, like, whitelisted on this router or something, but I don't have my router, like, protected. Like, I don't have settings. Like, if I have the password, I can just get on. You know what I mean? I don't know what's happening. I might just need to reset the whole thing. It's, like, one of those things where I don't really understand what's happening. So I, like, barely know what to look up to figure out So I may have to reset that. But anyway, that's what it was doing last night. It was not letting any of my devices connect. Also, you should, if you're not already following Trollmila, you should check them out. They were playing Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, which I'm pretty sure they're done with now. But their stream is great. They're a variety streamer. They play a lot of Kingdom Hearts. And they also have a very cute bunny that's not on stream. I haven't seen you bring your bunny on stream, but you can follow them on Twitter, and they do post pictures of their bunny on Twitter. One day, yeah, I don't bring my cat on stream because she hates being held. So definitely, yeah. I mean, she's on my my break screen, but and also Mila is gonna be on this stream on the 15th, which is, or sorry, not the 15th, on the 29th. Yes, on the 29th to play some Lasers and Feelings, so some sci-fi vibes. Excited for that. Very excited for that, because I haven't done sci-fi on this channel yet, right? And I love science fiction. Okay, so I travel somewhere that looks completely different. Oh, looks completely different, covered in snow than it did in the summer. What activity do you do there? Mark a location. You discover a rare ingredient for a recipe. Add a magical resource. Okay. I think I know what the ingredient is going to be. I think the place I go also I know. Because we went to the state park. Although that is already marked. I think I'm gonna bend the rules and I'm still gonna do that. Mark a location. Because I think I go to the state park because we went in autumn. We went camping. And so then I think we take a day trip there. I just had this thought, which would be fun. And let's see, where are my characters? I think my Uncle Danny is maybe a bird watcher. So we go to the state park because he has his like list of birds that he wants to see. And like there's another migration thing. There are some birds that are supposed to be there, like be in the area, and so we go to the state park to do that. And the resource, oh wow, and then I've got rocks too. I've already got rocks. I think I do while I'm there. Oh, well, this is not what I'm meaning to say. A rock with a hole in it, because I made up the spell that I need a rock with a hole in it to cast. And I think I find that there. Because that's a magical resource, I think. And I think I find it. I think seeing it, like, because I have this thing for the state park, like, watch out for fairy rings. And I think what happens is I'm, like, walking around, I see this rock, and I pick it up, and then when I look up, I see, like where I was about to walk into. Like, I think I'm walking in the woods, and I'm, like, look over to the side to see this rock with a hole in it, kind of, like, maybe there's some melted snow, or there's something where I see this, like, sticking up. I go over to that, and then I look back where my footprints were, and in front of it, I see, like, little holes in the snow that I didn't really notice, and that form, like, a circle, and realize that I, like, almost stepped into a fairy ring, and got distracted by this rock. And so I pick it up, and I'm like, oh, wow, okay, this is definitely good. This rock is definitely good. It's somebody's looking out for me. So I added that resource, and I feel like this is discovery, right? I feel like that has to be discovery. Or, well, it could be curiosity. Okay, what are the other things? Oh, this is camping. Oh, I'm gonna put it in here because it's the camping, it fits with the camping thing. And it fits with, like, openness, intuition, curiosity. We go back to the state oops, park after the snow has fallen because Danny is watching out for a rare bird. While there, I find a magical rock, but and narrowly miss stepping into a fairy circle. Okay. Oh, I got distracted. I was opening up my different tags or tabs. So there's another single player tabletop game that I just got. I actually think because I think Sky retweeted it. I might be wrong. But it's from Peach Garden Games. And it's called Raising Hell. And it's a single player game where you have a like devil that you raise for like a tournament, and it looks super fun, and like the illustration like really reminds me of like Paper Mario kind of. It's like the devils are like on I'll put a link in chat because it looks really cute. So I was kind of thinking about playing that. I actually have quite a few single player tabletop games, so I have some to choose from, but I was kind of thinking about playing that. Hello, Sierra. Real witch mood distracted by a rock. Yeah, I feel like that's also just like, maybe I'm a witch. But yeah, Sierra, another great streamer. Did you finish Portal 2? I think you played it. I think I saw a go live notification that you were playing it again after the last time I watched you play it. And I know when I was watching you playing it, you were saying you were maybe pretty close to the ending. So hello, how are you? Yes, the game took way too long to figure out how to spell distracted. You did finish it, cool. And that you've played, I think you've played, like you mentioned, you've played Portal before, so that wasn't like your first time beating it or anything. But that is still exciting. I also have a hard time spelling distracted because I always think it's an E instead of an I. You die. I don't I hope that's dying in a good way and not like a bad way. But Sierra's great. You should absolutely follow her. And it's probably only a matter of time before she comes back on the stream again because we gotta play more Mouse Herder. Oh, but yeah, this game, it looks really fun. If you click on the link, you'll see what I mean about the art style, because it really does remind me of like Paper Mario, like the original Paper Mario. I don't know if the art style's changed that much, or like the Yoshi games. It's just, it looks very cute and it looks fun. So yeah, but I have so many tabletop RPG single player tabletop games. I keep putting, oh yeah, keep putting E. Yeah, I have a hard time spelling that as well. Or like performance. I have a hard time spelling because I always want to put preformance instead of performance, or vice versa. Right now I can't even think of if either of those is right. When is the next message? I'll have to message you. I'm thinking I need to start planning for June and July, so we'll see. Everyone always loves the mouse adventures, so maybe June or July. I'll have to message everybody. Okay. I think I finished that prompt. So let's roll. Actually, I got a comment. So I have a YouTube for like my VODs and everything, and they're lightly edited. Like I edit out the beginning, like I edit out the starting soon screen for the most part. It's only up for like a little bit, and I edit out like the middle, like when we're on a break. I edit that out. And one of them, one of the Mouser ones I got a comment on from somebody that I don't know. And the comment just said like, more Mouse Ritter. And I think the Mouse Ritter stream has like, the first Mouse Ritter stream has like the most views out of any of my YouTube videos. So the people want more Mouse Ritter. And who am I to deny them? Okay, so I'll go back. I rolled a 5 and a 6. I rolled a 6 on the d6, so I'm actually going back 1 prompt. So I'm going to 72. Okay. Your mentor asks you to visit an elderly witch who lives a distance away and is close to passing. How do you help out around their home? Add a witch magical character. What tasks do they need to complete before passing that you help them complete? Add a skill and mark a power. Wow, this is like a heavy one. Okay. So my mentor is Kathy Brown. An elderly witch who lives a distance away and is close to passing. How do you help out around their home? Well, what are my skills? I feel like cooking. Like, that's something, like, for older people. I mean, like, that's, like, Meals on Wheels. Like, bringing food to people so that they have, you know, like, good things to eat. But they don't have to cook. I feel like that's such a big thing. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm adding a skill and marking a power. Okay, I only have, but I only have 1 power that's not marked. So maybe it's not, Okay, let's see what my skills are. Also, I might, here's what I might do. Because I can convert 2 marked skills into 1 new power. Add a skill and mark power. So what I might do is take baking and strike that because it's marked. And composting doesn't make sense. Baking and I feel like maybe talking with the Fae. I feel like either baking or failing without crying. I like that I have 2 crying related skills. I have crying as a skill and then I also have failing without crying as a skill. I'll put that double game on my Discord. Yes, I will. Maybe I'll send it to you. It is really cool. And also, it's the first version of it. And actually, I think there are, let me pull, I think there are community copies of it. Oh, maybe not. So it's $9 on itch. And it looks very cool. But it's technically, so the Raising Hell game is technically an itch like pre-order, but the game is done. Like the first version of the game is done. So if you get it, you get the current version, and then also there'll be another version that you'll get that has like more artwork, and other things like that. It has the like rewards and things like that on itch. But yeah, it looks very fun. Okay. What am I'm thinking about this elderly witch. Your mentor asks you, I'll put the link in the Discord. Which also, you can join my Discord. Not you, Sierra, because you're, I mean, you already are in it. This is the other single player tabletop RPG I was talking about. Let me put the Discord command in. Oh, here's Sky. This one is heavy sending oops. Stuff make it more whimsical and mysterious. Yes, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that Sky is the one who retweeted this game into my timeline. So yes, thank you for that, because I did end up getting it. And I think I might play it on stream. That's what we were talking about. Um, but Sky, who's in the chat, is the one who wrote this game. I don't think it's too heavy. And it's winter, you know? Like, I feel like winter, like, it fits thematically because, like, winter thematically is, like, things dying, like, things passing away. So I don't think it's too heavy. I think it, like, fits perfectly with the genre. My cat is really demanding my attention. There you go. I'll put her toy up. I think I have in the now playing. I'll do that command. You can follow Sky on Twitter. Their link to their Twitter is the bot just put it in the chat. So if you also want to be exposed to cool other games, or find out more about what he's doing, you can follow him. Oh, I was gonna say Discord. And if you want to see what I'm talking about when I say I'm gonna post something in the Discord, you can join the Discord. I think because I didn't mention this already. I'm just stalling from thinking about this elderly witch. I didn't mention this already. So the version of the Magical Year of a Teenage Witch I'm playing is the beta version, because I was already like most of the way through. So I actually haven't even downloaded the newer version that Sky has on itch, which has multiplayer. And I think I might see if people would want to do, because you can do it like play by post basically, so you can like have a Discord channel where people play the game together. So I might do something on my Discord with that. Like I might put it up and say like, hey, anybody who has this game and wants to like play it together, because it's asynchronous. Like you don't have to be playing at the same time. I believe. I haven't looked at the rules yet, but I think that's what Sky said. Okay. An elderly witch who lives a distance away is close to passing. Okay, so what I was looking at is my skills, because I might convert 2 skills into a power. So baking is a skill, and what kind of power would this be? I feel like this would be an ability, maybe. I was going to tell you I forgot. Nothing really changed for solo between your version. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, I didn't even, like, look at the new version yet because I was like, well, I'm probably not going to switch, like, midway because I feel like I will just get confused. And I was like, if I read the rules and they are different, then I'm going to be, like, forgetting while I'm playing. No big rule changes or anything. That's cool. But yeah, definitely check it out. As soon as I'm done tonight, I'm going to download the new version and look over it. I feel like I'm the kind of person that, like, I've always kind of wanted to play previous versions of, like, D&D, but I think I would get confused between what was, like, in which version. So yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna look at the other version because I will not remember which version is which. The other thing I get confused is, I really need to do this prompt. I'd be down for facilitating a multiplayer game if we can make it. That would be awesome. That'd be so cool. Yeah, maybe I'll message you on Discord about it. And I'll see like who would, like, if people would want to play by post, because I know Mila has it. And I feel like I have other friends who also have it. Like I think Melanie might have it. I don't know who all of my friends has it. Because I think multiple of my friends got the same bundle that I did that has this in it. So I think I have a decent number of, like, people who've been on stream who have this game. The other thing I was going to say I get confused is, I mentioned Coraline earlier as, like, stealing something from Coraline. And there is a Clive Barker book. Is it Clive Barker? That's, like, kind of weirdly similar to Coraline. And I always forget which, like, what's from Coraline and what's from that book. I can't remember what it's called. So sometimes I will say things and then people are like, that is not in Coraline. And I'm like, oh, it must be from this other thing. Okay, so baking. I feel like combining baking and talking with the Fae as an ability makes sense. Or baking and finding small creatures, like finding things. Thief of Always, yes. That is the book that I'm talking about. Isn't that, do you, I mean, I'm assuming you know Coraline, but like, aren't they like similar? I think that's the book. I'm pretty sure, yeah, the one with the holiday house. Because is Thief of Always? I'm pretty sure it is the Thief of Always. Yeah, because it's a fable written for children. What happens in this book? I'm pretty sure. But isn't that the one where, like, the person tries to leave and, like, everything's foggy, like, they can't actually leave? I just feel like there's, like, some similarities between... And, like, I don't even know now because I conflate the two of them. Thought of Coraline the whole time around. Okay, so I'm not the only one. I'm not just, like, wild. But yeah, so I sometimes can't remember what's from Coraline and what's from Thief of Always, because I think I also read them around the same time. Okay, so I think the thing that I'm doing for this elderly witch is cooking for them. I think maybe this witch is my mentor's mentor. And because my mentor, like, travels so much... Kathy Brown, my mentor, travels so much she can't take care of her mentor as much as she would want to. Like, she visits and everything, but she can't really take care of her mentor. And so asks me to, because I live, like, kind of close, and I also have, like, this, I can make vehicles fly, so it's a little bit easier for me. So baking is definitely one of the skills that I want to use for an ability. Public speaking doesn't really make sense, I don't think. Talking with the Fae kind of does. So I think I'm going to use those two. And my ability is... And I think this takes place over a while, that I'm going consistently and, like, helping with this older witch. So that's why I, like, develop this power and then also mark the power, because I'm using it so much. But I think it's an ability to do something maybe like... I think I say it's like, oh, I'm baking love into, like, these cookies or whatever, because that's, like, the thing that people say, like, oh, made with love. But I think I'm, like, taking, like, I'm able to, like, it attracts, I don't know how to word this. Like, I feel like the act of baking, okay, this is what I'm picturing. You know, in, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, when Monterey Jack smells cheese, he just, like, floats over to, like, he's just like, cheese, and just, like, floats around. There's other things that happens too, but that's what I always think of. I think it's like, while I'm baking, it, like, attracts Fae spirits to it, and, like, any ones that are nearby, and so they, like, in exchange for, like, smelling these delicious smells, because I think Fae don't really eat, like, in the same way that people eat. So even just smelling, like, good foods is, like, energizing and invigorating for them. So in exchange, they, like, bless whatever I'm making to make it, like, more nourishing and, like, more delicious. So I think it's, like... I think the ability, I'm just gonna call Baked with Love ability. When I bake, the smells are so delicious that berries and honey, oh yeah. Yeah, so I think, yeah, especially if I'm, like, cooking with something like that, that they're just like, oh, Cece. There you go. The smells are so delicious that it attracts Fae in the area who bless the food in exchange for the smell. It sounds weird. Bless the food in exchange for the smell. Of course, the downside is that, like, Fae are very unpredictable, so that maybe, like, even though they're coming for, like, a good reason and they don't have, like, ill intentions, like, attracting Fae creatures is never, like, something that, like, you for sure want. Downside is that once they arrive, they can cause a lot of mischief. I think, yeah. Or maybe it's like, yeah, no, I like they bless it in exchange for the smell. I kind of like that. I was gonna say maybe it's like, oh, I have to give them some of the food. I feel like it's maybe just a thing where they like just the smell they like. They're so small that even like smelling something that smells really good like is like food to them. Okay, so I have that ability and I'm gonna mark it. I also need to think of the name of this mentor, right? Add a witch magical character, yeah. I was told to never say thank you or acknowledge that they did you a favor because then you owe them and then they own you. Yes, right. Like that's exactly the thing of like, like with Fae creatures, it's like you can't really like, I think maybe that's why they bless the food. Like once they arrive, they're like, oh, a human like did something for us, so we owe them. So we're gonna like do this like blessing thing. But like the danger is like you can't really acknowledge them. You can't really like do anything. Because like if you like thank them for the blessing or something, then it's like going to be like a problem. Cece, what do you want? Do you want to stream too? Do you want to become a streamer? Do you want to come up and say hi? Add rose to it, or you can make with rose water. Ooh. Yeah. Maybe this is especially like powerful if I bake with honey, berries, or rose water. That's a tricky make them owe you, yeah. I love rose water, like as a flavor. I love floral flavors. Baked with lovability. Okay. I need to name this character. This magical character. I feel like it has to be like old witches are always like auntie something. Or auntie, I guess, depending on how you say it. And what does she do at one? It's close to passing. How do you go about around their home? I kind of figured that out. Add a witch magical character. What tasks do they need to complete before passing that you help them complete? Add a skill and mark of power. I guess I kind of interpreted that as like I'm just feeding them, but maybe they owe something to the Fae nearby. So that's what brings like the Fae in. Let's do Auntie Madeline. Kathy Brown's mentor. Why can't I spell mentor? Mentor. An elderly witch who owed something to the Fae near her, and I helped pay it back with baked goods and provided food for her. Sure. Okay, so then I did the power, add a skill and mark a power. Did I add a skill? I didn't add a skill. Okay, so I'll add a skill. I did mark, I struck out 2 skills. Maybe like, like shrewdness as a skill that I add. Because, like, you have to be very shrewd when you're, like, interacting with Fae creatures. Okay. What memory will this go under? Mystery, creativity, introspection. I think probably there's a generosity one, right? Compassion, expression, generosity. I think it's this one. Kathy Brown asks me to help take care of... Is that a skill? Yeah, I mean, the skills in the game are, like, a little bit more, like, open-ended. Like, because one of the skills I had before was, like, crying. So it's, like, kind of, like, can be a little bit, like, being shrewd. I think being shrewd is a skill, though. Like, being, like a shrewd... Like, because there's, like, a shrewd business person. I think you can learn that to be more shrewd. Kathy Brown asks me to help take care of... her I can't spell mentor. I don't know if you can see, like, if it's too small when I'm typing, but I just, again, crying is def a skill. If crying is a skill, I'm amazing at it. Kathy Brown asked me to take care of her mentor, Auntie Madeline, who needs help with food and baking in her old age. When I arrive, I find out that she also owes something to the Fae. I'm imagining, I didn't say this, but I'm imagining she lives, like, in a woods. Like, she's like, kind of like one of those, she's, like, very stubborn. Like, she doesn't admit that, like, she kind of, like, can't really live out there on her own anymore because she's, like, very elderly, and, like, I feel like there's just so much that she has to do. So maybe the reason why she owes something to the Fae is because they were, like, giving her, like firewood or something. There was something where they were, like, she needed something, and she was too proud to ask for help, and so she inadvertently made, like, some kind of pact. She owes something to the Fae of her woods, and I help pay it back with baked goods. Cool. I think that's that one. Add a skill, mark of power. I did do that. So we're on to the next prompt. Okay. So I move forward 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to 76. 76 trombones. 75. 76. After a long day, your familiar seems to be getting sick, but you feel fine. How do you care for them? Add or mark a trait. How do you feel when they seem over it the next day? Oh, this is such... okay, so first let me... this takes... I think at least, like... I think the whole time these other things are happening, I'm going to Auntie Madeline's. Like, I mark this as a memory of, like, having already happened. But I think this takes, like, most of winter. I'm doing this. So I think while that's happening then, my cat, who I think I said is an old lady cat. Yeah, Alyssa is like an old lady tabby cat that I've had for most of my childhood, and she's old and wise. And I think when she gets sick and I feel fine... Oh, I like that this specifies she seems to be getting sick, but you feel fine. Because I feel like this implies that, like, normally when we get sick, like, we're both sick at the same time. Like, because we're kind of, like, connected in some way. And so maybe this is the first time that's happened. Because cats are like that anyway. Like, last stream, when I think it was when I was streaming Phoenix Wright, I was talking about how cats like to, like, mirror their owners. And my cat does that a lot. Like, she's not very affectionate, but I feel like her way of showing affection is that when I'm doing something, she always wants to be a part of it. And uh so like when I'm sitting playing a video game, she sits on the couch, or when I'm streaming, she comes over and like wants to be at the computer with me, or like when I'm laying in bed watching TikToks, she like comes and lays in bed with me, or like different stuff like that. So like cats are already kind of like that. Like when you're in a certain mood, I feel like they kind of like are very, I don't know, they like absorb that. So even cats that aren't affectionate, I feel like that's kind of how they show affection. Hey! She immediately bit me after I said that. Ow. She's like biting me so much. Cece, we made the mistake of not getting another cat, and so she doesn't know that she's hurting you because she's never been bit by a cat before. So when she bites me, she like, I don't think she realized that it like hurts actually. Okay. I feel that Spider hates to show affection, but she has to be around me all the time. Yeah, exactly. And like doing something similar to what I'm doing. So like I'm on the computer, I think she wants to like be on the computer. Oh, also I'm wearing like hangy sleeves. Ooh, this is really good. Okay, so what's the actual prompt? After a long day, your familiar seems to be getting sick, but you feel fine. How do you care for them? I think I get Alyssa some really, like, nice, fancy food. I don't think Alyssa eats cat food anyway because she can, like, communicate with me. Like, it seems weird to feed, like, I don't know. Like, it seems weird if I'm just feeding Alyssa cat food. So I think she eats, like, differently than other cats anyway. But I think I, like, get her favorite, like, salmon or something like that. When my mom first saw my cat, Spider was a few months old, and my mom put Spider's head in her mouth to show her who's in charge. I love that so much. That your mom just comes over and is just like, ah. Yeah, Cece thinks that she's in charge of us, which I know for a fact. Sorry, I'm getting really distracted by cat talk, but honestly, this is why I like doing single-player tabletop games, because, like, I don't know, like, it feels fun to just, like, talk with people, and, like, it brings up things that I wouldn't think to talk about on stream otherwise. But Cece, I know she thinks that she's in charge of us because I read something that's like, if cats perch above, like, literally physically above you and just, like, watch you from, like, high above, it's because they are like, I'm in charge of you. Like, the literally the cat that is highest in altitude is in charge. And so she always, like, if we're in bed, like, Mike and I will be in bed, and she'll come and sit on our nightstand and just look at us. Yeah, she's being very vocal right now. She really wants to, like, actually play. If I have this toy for her that she loves, which is, like, a fishing pole with, like, a little jangly fish on the end of it. So, like, she knows that I'm playing or, like, talking to somebody. When I'm on the phone, she comes over and, like, wants to be on the phone. Yeah, she thinks she's in charge of us. we have to, like, anything that she can climb up on, we have to always be above her. Yeah. Yeah, get higher than she is. Yeah, I knew what you meant, because obviously I'm already bigger than she is. But yeah, it used to be really bad. She used to climb up on my bookshelf, and she would sit on the top of the bookshelf and look down at us. And she does this thing where she turns her ears to the side so that they're like facing out, and she looks like an owl. She's a very strange cat. Okay. I gave her some other toys to bat around. So Alyssa, my cat in game, gets sick one day. I think we're coming back from visiting one of our visits from Auntie Madeline. And Alyssa starts to feel sick. And I feel fine. And so I take her home, I give her some salmon. Add or mark a trait. So I think traits are skills, resources, or characters, I believe. Magical resource. Yeah. Yeah, and I think the first thing that I'm very worried about is that Alyssa is like, because she's only a lady cat and because I'm like helping this like old witch who's like kind of in the process of dying, like not actively, but is like elderly and like, you know, getting her affairs in order and like trying to figure out like things about like when she's not here anymore. So I think immediately I'm like, Alyssa's dying, and I'm like, I think when I get home I like get her, like I set her up in the bed and I like make a little nest for her like in my bed, and I like get her some salmon, and then I think I like go up onto like the rooftop, like where I know she's not gonna like, she's in my room, she's not gonna hear me, I'm like far away from her, and I just like cry because I'm like, my cat is like dying. And then I think the next day she's like fine, like she seems over it, and um yeah, and so I'm just like kind of like, okay, is she like hiding from me that she's sick? Like, is she not letting me know that she still doesn't feel good? So I'm like watching her the whole time. This got sad quick. It's winter, I feel like. I feel like, I don't know, like winter is like things getting old, things dying. Let's see. What could I mark here? I think I'll mark Alyssa. That makes the most sense. Add or mark a trait. I think are characters considered traits? I believe so. I believe characters are considered traits. So I'll mark her. And then I have to put this in a memory. Introspection, that kind of makes sense. Although, I think I will put it with water memories. Compassion, expression, generosity, because it's compassion, expression. I did make the winter, it makes sense to make the winter prompts heavier, because it's like the year is ending. Winter is heavier. I think it's good. Okay. After coming back from a visit to Auntie. Do people in chat say auntie or auntie? I guess it's hard to specify. So if you say auntie, put a 1. And if you say auntie, put a 2. Auntie 1, auntie 2. Also, Sleep Child earlier, I think I laughed, but I didn't acknowledge it. But Sleep Child is still only saying Gerb. Like, just Gerb, no, nothing else. Madeline. After coming back from a visit to Auntie Madeline, Alyssa seems to not... Okay, so Sierra says auntie. Alyssa seems to not be feeling very good. And I immediately... I guess immediately is another word that I don't remember how to spell. I immediately pamper her, running out, oops, to get some salmon, her favorite food, and okay, so we're split. One auntie, one auntie, and then I also say auntie. I was going to rename characters' relationships to make more sense as a trait, but that's more letters. I need to keep things as short as possible for the prompt box. That totally makes sense. I always double check for stuff like that, because I think it makes sense to just have it as trait, because it's basically like, you know, that's pretty much how they're like how you define it in the game. And I know, like, you say multiple times in the rules, like, you can, like, kind of do your own thing, but I always am, like, there's a part of me that is like, I must know the answer to the rules. Her favorite food, and make a nest for her in my bed. I cry on the roof because I think she's dying. But the next day, she seems fine. And I can't tell if she's hiding something from me or if she really is fine. Okay, that's that prompt. Okay. 8 minus 1. So I'm moving forward 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's okay, so I'm at 80. And I don't have my spellbook entries. Oh my gosh, I just noticed that you sorry, I read the previous prompt because I was just, but Sky, I love that you said Candle Nights is coming up. That's just so wonderful. I have Goblin Squad. I use the Winter Holidays, the Night of Candles, which is also a Candle Nights reference. Okay, so let's go to prompt 80. And then I think I actually have things that I can convert to spellbook entries, I just haven't. Okay. So the Harbinger of Spring is in the area early and the snow is melting. Wow, did I do this right? I feel like I moved through winter so fast. The Harbinger of Spring is in the area early and the snow is melting. What reason do they give for being early? What do you give them as a thank you for their service? Strike a resource. From now on, if you encounter a prompt that includes the word snow or snowfall, skip it and move to the next prompt set. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. It's a good thing to it is a good thing to reference. Here's what I'm gonna do, because we were talking about Candle Nights and because I don't have spellbook entries, I'm gonna break the rules because I got excited about seeing Candle Nights and I want to do this prompt. So I'm gonna do prompt 79 and then I'll just move to prompt 80 because I want to do it. Okay, Candle Nights is coming up because we also did Halloween and I didn't do like a winter holiday. Candle Nights is coming up. Who all are you shopping for? One of them spots you out shopping. How do you hide the gift you got for them? Mark a trait instead of rolling for the next prompts that continue to the next prompt in this. Okay, I'm definitely doing this because this seems so much fun, and I love winter holidays. And I believe maybe I'll convert a power into a spellbook entry for this one. And then I'll do it for the next one as well, maybe? This is absolutely not allowed. Well, you'll have to come fight me. You'll have to come fight me. Stop having fun. The purpose of this game is to follow the rules and not to see a reference to something you like and then do it. Marked power into spellbook entry. And let me look at my powers. I actually think I could do this pretty easily. I think I have enough marked powers. Yes, I actually could do. I have 3 powers to choose from that I could put in my spellbook. So let's do a little shopping. Okay. Who all are you shopping for? Okay. Well, I'm obviously shopping for my uncles. I'm shopping for Millie. I'm shopping for Alyssa. I don't think I get anything for Kathy Brown. Because I feel like she's like one of those people, like I feel like there's mentors that you have where like they're very helpful to you and you have a relationship, but it's more of like I feel like we have a very like utilitarian, like I don't think she's super affectionate. And I feel like I have, like, other sources of, like, people who are very affectionate in my life. So I don't think I get one for Kathy. I do get one for Alyssa. I get one for my uncles. I think I get one for Millie. And I think that's probably it. As far as, like, character in this. I think I also probably, like, send gifts home to, like, my family. Like, my parents. But one of them spots you out shopping. How do you hide the gift you got for them? Out of all of these people, who would be the most fun to see me out shopping? Hmm. It makes the most sense for Millie to see me, but I kind of want it to be one of my uncles. I think it's maybe Uncle Greg. And here's what I think happens. I think I'm thinking of Love Actually. I think this is why this is occurring to me. Which Love Actually, it's actually much sadder because the scene that I just realized I'm thinking of is the scene where Alan Rickman is buying a necklace for the woman that he's having an affair with. But I'm imagining we're at a mall. That like Uncle Greg, Uncle Danny, and I are at a mall. That we all go together and we all split up to like buy gifts for each other and buy gifts for like other people. And I'm getting a gift for Uncle Greg. And he sees me. And I think this is just something that happened in my real life. I think I am getting him like a video game. And I think I lie and say that I'm getting it for myself. That like, that's how I cover it up. Like, he sees me get this game and I say like, oh, well, you know, there's like so many sales going on. Like, I'm actually getting this for me. Because I did that when I was a kid. I was getting a gift from my mom and I lied and told her it was, that I was just getting it for myself. And she believed me, which is silly that she believed me, but she did. Okay, so mark a trait. What trait shall I mark? Where is my document? Okay, so I could mark Uncle Greg. The locations and those locations make sense. The trait I think I will mark is... Should I mark the $20? Well, I feel like I should... If I'm gonna do something, I feel like I should strike the $20. I've used it. But, stationery and nice pens. Not from around here. Bag of none of the resources make that much sense. So I think I will mark Uncle Greg, because you can mark characters more than once. And what type of memory is this? I just do them in like reverse order. Passion, motivation, confrontation. No, I don't think this is a confrontation. Generosity, maybe. Growth, stability, wisdom. I don't know if it fits into that. Curiosity, openness, intuition. Innocence, discovery, empathy. Well, I feel like it fits with... I feel like it fits most with generosity. Compassion and generosity. It's interesting what memories I've like used the most. Are there any types that... No, I've struck out something from that. I've struck out something from water. I've struck out something from earth. Earth, I think, is the one I've used the least. But actually, I've used all of them pretty evenly. I only have a couple more in... Like, I only have a couple fewer in earth than I do in other ones. So I do think this is probably generosity. Or I guess it could be wisdom to be like, oh, this is how I'll lie about this. Growth, stability, wisdom. I feel like this is like a more playful memory than earth. What is air? Air is curiosity, openness, intuition, light. I feel like this is kind of innocence. I feel like this fits with light. Because I feel like it is like a sort of thing of like, I'll just say that I'm getting it for myself, which is like a very, I don't know, I feel like that's a very innocent like lie. And light, I don't know. It I feel like it makes sense as generosity, but also I feel like it feels weird for a holiday that is like about giving gifts to be like, this is distinguished by its like generosity, because like, I don't know. It's not especially generous to give gifts at Christmas because everyone gives gifts at Christmas for the most part. Sorry, candle nights, not Christmas. Okay. My uncles and I go to the mall, and Uncle Greg catches me buying him a video game. But I lie and say I'm buying it for myself. And I think he teases me for, like, being, like, selfish when we're supposed to be shopping for other people. But I think it's, like, a very, like, joking thing. Okay. I marked a trait. Okay. You attend a candle night's party and exchange gifts with friends. Who is hosting? What food is offered at the party? Mark up to 3 characters you spend the most time with. What is the best thing you receive at a resource? Oh, this is so nice. I'm so glad I'm doing this prompt. This is such a fun prompt. Okay. The party. Who are the characters I can choose from? Okay. I think it is... Oh my goodness. Okay. This is kind of silly. I think... This is kind of silly, but I like it. And we've had like some kind of saddish prompts, and I think it would be funny. There's something I've wanted to bring back in that hasn't come back up. So I think the party is like an apartment party. Like there's other people in the apartment that like in the apartment complex. And I'm just gonna retroactively say that Millie lives in the same apartment complex as me. Like, I don't think I said where she lives. Maybe not the same building, but the same complex. So I think it's like a apartment complex candle nights party. So that way, like, a lot of, like, people could be there, like my uncles. I'm so glad I didn't miss this. Hello, Melanie. I'm doing some candle nights. I just noticed that Sky uses candle nights for the winter holiday, which is wonderful. But hello, how are you doing? How are you doing, Melanie? So I think it's apartment complex candle nights party. So Peter is there, Millie is there, and this is I think the first time I'm seeing Gerb. Who has been missing, who took my dough whisk, my magic dough whisk, which was a gift from my now deceased grandmother, and he floated away. And I haven't seen him since then. And I think Millie hasn't seen him since then. He's just disappeared. Merry candle nights to us all. So I think during the party, Gerb makes a reappearance, and like we don't see him enter. I think it's just a thing where like there's some kind of what could the food be? I'm imagining there's like some kind of food or dish that somebody takes the lid off and Gerb is sitting in it, and he's got my dough whisk in his mouth. And that's like the candle nights gift that I get is from Gerb. Festive Gerb, yeah. Or I just feel like it's so funny if he's in some kind of food. Or like is in the punch bowl maybe. Like somebody goes to get punch and like screams because there's a toad in the punch bowl and is like, what's happening? And yeah, and I think what it is it's like, it's definitely my dough whisk. And I think there's something like stronger about it, or it seems like reinvigorated. Like maybe I don't realize this, but the dough whisk, like the wood from the handle is like from the Fey realm, and so like Gerb, I need a Gerb ornament. Yes, yes, Gerb. Let me make this. Gerb. Gerb reappears with a little Santa hat. Oops, I'm moving everything now. Let me not move that. Let me move Gerb. Gerb is taking over. And I think what I thought was like malice or like mischief from Gerb was Gerb. The ornament would be very cute. Was Gerb like taking my ornament back to the Fae to like reinvigorate it somehow, and so like my spells are like coming a little bit more easily to me because of this. Perfectly spherical with just like, almost like how Kirby has like the little nubs like for hands and feet. It would be like that, but Gerb would just have little nubs for hands and feet, and then also for the eyes on top of his head. So I think that's definitely the gift that I get. So I get to mark 3. So I'm gonna mark Gerb. I'm gonna mark Peter. And I'll mark Uncle Danny is also there. And the gift that I get. Mark up to 3 characters you spend the most time with. What is the best thing you receive at a resource? So what I'm gonna add is I'm gonna unstrike my dough whisk. From my and then in parentheses, from my grandmother. Stolen by Gerb. Brought back to me. Infused with Fey magic. I think that's fun. Maybe it's being too neat with everything, but I think it's fun. Okay, so this should be I don't think it's a fire memory. I don't know if it's water. A Candle Knight's Miracle, yes. I kind of think it might be earth. Or it could be dark. I kind of think it's earth though, because it's like, I feel like the thing I learn is like, this whole thing is about like winter, it seems like has been about like kind of learning to hold things with an open hand. So like sometimes you lose things and sometimes like you don't get them back. Like you lose friends, or like people move away, or like you have to move away, like you lose things. But also sometimes like you have to let go of something, and then like when it comes back to you, it's like it was good that it was gone for for a certain amount of time. I feel like that's like kind of a growth and like wisdom thing, is like, you know, not everything that leaves, like it's not always bad and it's not always only sad. Like sometimes it's for the best, and sometimes things come back. Okay, so I go to a Candle Knight's party. Oh, I didn't convert any of my spells. I feel like I have to convert. I feel like I know what I'm gonna convert. I go to a Candle Knight's party for my apartment complex, and Gerb returns in the punch bowl with my grandmother's dough whisk. Not whisk. I don't know exactly why, but the wood of the handle seems more, is like burnished the word I'm looking for? Like it seems like richer. Burnished. Well, that's for bronze, I guess. especially of metal, polished by rubbing. I don't know, like, I feel like the wood looks, like, polished and, like, refined in some way. Seems more polished and refined. And magic comes a bit more easily from it. Because I think Felicity, or Felicity doesn't know that this is what happened. But I think that is what happened. Good stuff. Thank you. Okay, let me look at my powers to see what powers, because I need to convert one of these at least. Okay, I don't think restaurant radar ability makes sense. Oh, but baked with love does, because I feel like I get this dough whisk back. And now that I have it, like, since it's a baking thing. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this and then strike through. And then go up to my spellbook entries. Dash, 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 dash. Okay, why did they do spaces? I don't know why they came up. Oh, that's why. Okay. I was gonna say, why are they spaced apart above and they're not when I do it? But, okay. Baked with love. When I bake, the smells are so delicious that it attracts fae in the area. Oh, and also this makes sense to be upgraded because I think if you hear, like, screaming, I think my mom is playing with the dogs, and I think that's her, like, encouraging. I think that's excitement. I don't think something bad's happening. But just in case you hear, like, some sort of high-pitched screaming, I think it's good. I think they're just playing catch. Okay. So, I used this ability to, help Auntie Madeline, and it only became stronger when I got my grandmother's dough whisk back from Gerb. That wascally flog. Actually a toad. Okay. So now I'll do the prompt that I illegally skipped. I didn't skip, but the prompt that I illegally saved for later, which is prompt 80. The Harbinger of Spring is in the area early and the snow is melting. What reason do they give for being early? What do you give them as a thank you for their service? Strike a resource. From now on, if you counter a prompt that includes the word snow or snowfall, skip it and move to the next prompt set. Okay. This will be the last one for winter because I can convert another spell or another spell or ability into my spellbook. So the Harbinger of Spring, I believe I established as being a bluebird. I think that was in a different stream because I started to play this game and then didn't have enough time and also like misunderstood a lot of what I was doing, and so I just restarted. So what reason do they give for being early? That's interesting. Okay. I'm trying to think of why a Harbinger would come early to something. The reason they give for being early. What do you give them as a thank you for their service? Okay, let me look at my resources, because maybe that might spark something for me. I just give them $20. That'd be so that would be so funny to just be like, here's $20. Oh. There is the rooftop garden. And if this is a bird, I think I like not giving to them in a way that it like doesn't belong to anyone else, but like I know now that I'm leaving to go to another city or go do something, and I've been taking care of this like community garden that's up there, and so I think it's like, hey, you can stay here, but then also I'm thinking like, if the Harbinger of Spring is here, then that maybe will help the flowers grow. Why do they come so early? Oh, I thought of something cute. I think they come early because in this playthrough I haven't met them. And I think they come early because I did meet the Harbinger of Autumn. And so I think they're like, oh yeah, I was like talking to the Harbinger of Autumn, and I knew if I waited until spring, I wouldn't get to meet you. And so I think they come early to like, so that they can meet me before I like move to another area. Cause I don't know, I imagine these as being like kind of more like localized. Like the Harbinger of Spring in Chicago is probably not the same as like in another place. Like a bluebird is like a very like, I don't know, like I know at least an American like spring thing, but other places have other things. Yes, I think this is cute. So yeah, I think they say like, oh, I came early because I wanted to meet you before, like, I know you might be moving away. So then I kind of like show them this garden. I say like, hey, I'm not gonna be here, but like, there's a lot of like fun people in this apartment building, and this garden is like very nice. And I know it doesn't really look like much right now because it's winter, but like come spring, it'll be like, there'll be flowers and there'll be like lots of like things for you to have here. So yeah, I think that is, I just need to do a memory for that. And then I'm on to the new year. Innocence, discovery, empathy, curiosity, openness, intuition, growth, stability, wisdom. I almost feel like this is an earth memory too. I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like this is earthy because it is like, I'm leaving, but this thing still needs to be taken care of. And I think there's like kind of some, even though like things are changing, like, and also literally growth, like growth of flowers. The Harbinger of, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but when I used to work in retail, and up by the register, we had little carabiners. It was like something that you could get. And somebody came in one time and was like, do you guys have any of those Harbingers? And I was like, what? And they were like, Harbingers, you know, Harbingers. And then I was like, I have no idea what they're talking about. And they were fiddling around with like their purse, and they took out a carabiner. And they were like, these things. And I was like, that is so funny to think of that as a Harbinger. So that's always what I think of when I hear either of those words. The Harbinger of Spring comes early because they wanted to meet me before I move on to another city. I tell them about the apartment complex and give yeah, I don't know, it's so funny to, like, what would a carabiner be a harbinger of? Like, I guess rock climbing. Like, this is a harbinger of rock climbing. I tell them about the apartment complex and give them the rooftop garden that I've been taking care of. Okay, so now I need to switch over one more of these powers. So I can choose, I think I'm going to choose the positive self-talk ability. Also, I put this as an ability, but this really feels more like a spell than an ability. Why did I don't know why my auto mod held that message. But sure. Yeah. That's funny. There was another time where I, no, I don't know why I held it. Because it marks the whole thing as being like like usually it only highlights like one word, and it just marked the entire thing, so I don't know. There was also a time where I was at this like sub place that's near me, and they have a Chipotle like sub or something, and the elderly couple in front of me, they were like talking about what they wanted to get, and the guy was like, I think I want to get one of those jalopy subs, which also has stuck with me as jalopy. I want one of those chicken jalopy subs. Okay, so I do think it's a positive self-talk spell is the one I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna copy and strike through. Spellbook entries. I can spend 30 minutes focusing and thinking of positive and true affirmations about myself to boost my self-image and confidence magically. Oh shoot, why did I give myself this power? Because I like to put, I like to put what I've used the spell for. I don't think this is where I got it, but I used this, I do remember I think using it before I flew a bus into a tornado, to boost my confidence before I flew a bus into a tornado, and also I perfected it before moving on to another city, because change is scary. Just true. Okay. Yes, I did it. Okay. So I'm going to, now I have this, I'm gonna roll the dice to see what New Year prompt. Oh, no, I have to do the first one because it says do not move past this point. Okay, so on screen, you all are not going to see this whole prompt because these ones are wider. Oh, actually, I think I can do this. I'll make that a little different. I'll scroll down here to the new year. Also, I should say, I have not, like, I didn't look at any of these prompts or anything, so I have no idea what these New Year prompts are gonna be. Okay. Okay. Oh, so the first thing I actually already kind of have done. That's funny, because I was just doing it. Okay, so now make it a teeny bit smaller. And then do this. Oh, this is the end. Congratulations, you finished your magical year. For each spellbook entry, add a description of a time in your witch's life when the entry played an important role. I kind of already did that. But I am gonna go over them. Okay. These times could have oh, I see. Played an important role in the next year, right? These times could occur immediately after their magical year, right before their passing, or anywhere in between. You may use the ideas below for inspiration. Once you've done this for all 8 spellbook entries or as many as you like, the game is over. Okay. Woo! Yeah, okay. So I see. So it's So it can happen right before they're passing. I think it's the witches passing. So this is me like looking at like maybe the next thing that happens for Felicity's life. So let me look at these other prompts. Which spellbook? I'm just gonna read through all these prompts out loud. And I don't think you'll see them all, but which spellbook entry played a role in what you choose to do immediately after your magical year? A spellbook entry became your signature power. What is the most important time you used it? You used a spellbook entry to fight against evil. What do you sacrifice in the process? How does a spellbook entry get you through the hardest moment in your life? What role does a spellbook entry play in you becoming lifelong friends with a character? What is the first spellbook entry you teach to your first apprentice? Oh, these are so cute. When was the last time you used a spellbook entry, and why did you vow to never again? You research the magic behind a spellbook entry. What new discovery do you make? Oh, these are so cool. Okay. So let me go over my spellbook entries, because some of these, it's been a little while since I've mentioned them. So my very first spellbook entry was my magic cookies. I can bake magical cookies that provide the energy and nourishment of a full meal without feeling overstuffed. I can only make one batch of 6 cookies per day. I used one of these cookies to convince a baby fae to go back home instead of coming to live with me. I guess if they can tempt even a fae spirit, they must be pretty tasty. The cleanup spell. I use my dough whisk to cast a spell that cleans up messes. It's particularly effective for baking messes, but can be used for almost anything. I have to have my dough whisk to cast it. I use this spell to impress my neighbor Peter, who's a little boy, and to keep my uncles from being too frustrated about my baking messes. The Dewdrop Cake recipe. A delicious cake that can entice pests to come to it and become trapped inside it. You know what I'm dealing with right now is, I think I took care of it, but I have had so many freaking ants in my apartment, and so I had to use those traps, those ant traps. Yeah, a cleanup spell in real life would be so nice. I had to use those ant traps that like I don't really like to use like stuff like this, but like there are ants in my pantry. There are just ants everywhere. And the like little teeny tiny ones. So I had to use those traps that have like the liquid inside, and they get like, sometimes the ants get, yeah, they kind of get stuck in it sometimes, but then also it's like poison, and they take it back to the rest of the ant nest, which sounds like so, I feel like a terrible person saying like, yeah, I put out these traps that like kill the entire ant colony. But I feel like the colony must be literally right outside my door, because I can see where all the ants were coming in and was like right by my patio door, and they were all coming from there, and they were just getting further and further into my house. But anyway, I think I took care of it. But that is kind of like this dewdrop cake, because it is this clear liquid and this clear trap that the ants are just like in. But I haven't seen ants lately, so I think it took care of it. I don't want to kill everyone, but yeah, I know, because at first I just got some of those sticky traps that it's just the ants that come in would get stuck in it. But yeah, I was like, I guess I just have to do this kind of the nuclear option. Terrible. But that's not what I'm picturing this dewdrop cake as, is these ants trapped inside. A delicious cake that can entice pests to come to it and become trapped inside it. I use this cake to get rid of the water slugs in my apartment. Actually, I think that might be the one I never use again, now that I'm thinking about how I feel guilty about. I feel guilty about the thing. Flying vehicle spell. I can use the spell to make something fly. It can only be used on a vehicle and only lasts one day. It can only go as fast as the vehicle can usually go. I use this spell to help a pigeon rebuild its coop with Millie and my uncles. I should add. And to make a bus fly into a tornado to help protect Chicago. Because that was pretty notable that I did that. The Inner Rock spell. This spell allows you to feel strong emotions without becoming overwhelmed so that you can get through tough things and become stronger. Oh, what did I use the self-talk ability for? I cannot remember. I used the spell when I was driving a flying bus through the streets of Chicago to stop a tornado, even though I don't have a driver's license. Find familiar. I use my dowsing rod to help me find a lost familiar or pet. It can be used within 5 miles. I've used this spell many times to find Gerb. Sometimes I use it if Alyssa is napping somewhere I can't find. Baked with Love ability. When I bake, the smells are so delicious it attracts fae in the area who bless the food in exchange for the smell. The downside is that once they arrive, they can cause a lot of mischief. This is especially powerful when I bake with honey, berries, or rose water. I use this ability to help Auntie Madeline, and it only became stronger when I got my grandmother's dough whisk back from Gerb. Positive self-talk spell. I can spend 30 minutes focusing and thinking of positive and true affirmations about myself to boost my self-image and confidence magically. And I cannot remember what I use it for. I could probably go through and look, but I thought I used it before I flew a bus into a tornado. Apparently I used it. Oh, did I use it for... I can't remember. There were a couple of things I could have used it for. Okay. So, I think the one... what spellbook entry played a role in what you chose to do immediately after your magical year? So I think what I chose to do immediately after the magical year. So I started the beginning of the magical year. I was 16. So either I'm about to turn 17 or turned 17 sometime during this. So I think the next thing I do is, I feel like I would go to another city. Like, I feel like I would go to, I don't know, like, Chicago is already a pretty big city, but I feel like I would maybe go, like, further west, because I'm like, okay, I lived in the country, but I was in the Midwest, and then I moved to a bigger city in the Midwest, and I feel like maybe going someplace that's, like, pretty different. So either, I feel like I would go West Coast or Southern, because I feel like those are pretty drastically different from the Midwest. So maybe I go to like a city. I think for 17 it would be hard to just go to another country. I feel like that's a big next leap. So I think maybe I go to like, I don't know, like maybe I go to like Colorado or something like that. That's like super different. Or yeah, and I feel like that would be because of the flying vehicle spell, because it's easy to like to go places like that. This spell is also what convinced me to decide to... Oh, Portland would be cool. That's true. Open up a weed bake shop. I think I think Colorado, because it's pretty different from the Midwest. Open up a weed bake shop. Maybe when when my witch is 21. Decide to go to Colorado because I can still make trips home pretty easily. So I think that's Sleep Time is so committed to this bit of only saying Gerb. So I think that is, like, I kind of already talked about, like, I decided to go because I, like, saw the snowfish, like, migrating in the winter storm. Or not winter storm, but in, like, the snow. So I think there's that. I do think I'll decide which is my signature spell. Oh, we both literally said committed to the bit. That's very funny. Same wavelengths. I do think that, like, Baked with Love is such a cool ability. And it's so, like, ties in the fact that, like, the Fae thing kept coming back. And, like, I have this, like, this dough whisk that kind of comes from, like, Fae. So I do think, this becomes my signature ability. I think I do open up. I feel like the witch would have to open up some sort of, like, you know, Gerb again. I think I do have a bakery, and I think I probably at some point, you know, I'd probably make some weed bakery items. This becomes my signature ability. um, for the rest of my career. And it also, like, is so fun, like, to have something where it's like, oh, it can be blessed, but also then there's, like, fae spirits around, which is, like, kind of scary, and, like, maybe I just keep moving. Like, it makes me keep, like, traveling. Magic brownies, yes. Yes, and I did already have a thing where, like, I had, like, kind of a prophetic dream of Gerb in the Fae realm teaching brownies how to make brownies with this dough whisk. Or not, I don't think teaching them, but making them with them. Gerb. Cool. Especially useful for magic brownies. Fun. Okay. One of these I don't do again, and I think it is the dewdrop cake. Although the cake is very useful, other things can end up getting stuck, and after some time, I retire this recipe. Because it makes me feel like a bad person to kill things. What more do I have? Okay, so I have my magic cookies. I think this is what I start. The magic cookies are what I start selling when I'm in Colorado. Magic cookies are the first thing I start selling in Colorado. But have to change the name because it leads to some confusion. They end up selling really well to hikers. Hikers and rock climbers. They would love to have a cookie that provides the energy and nourishment of a full meal without feeling overstuffed. I think I renamed them trail mix cookies, or trail cookies. I rename them trail cookies. Especially because then I have magic brownies. My cleanup spell. What are my, okay, I got that one. I feel like I have to use the inner rock spell. So I think the sad thing that happens not too much longer after the magical year is that Alyssa was sick because she was getting old, and eventually sometime after, like, I think maybe after I'm an adult, like, she manages to hang on for another couple of years until I'm 18. And I think familiars, like, I don't think they, like, die like a regular animal does. I think she, like, I think they turn to light and, like, return to, like, whatever spirit they were a part of, they, like, kind of return to that. And so I think I have to use this inner rock spell when, I think one day I wake up and her collar, like, she has a little collar with a bell on it or something like that, and her collar is in the bed, but she's not around anywhere. I'm gonna cry thinking about it. Because I don't want my cat to die. Yeah. So I think I have to use this inner rock spell because, like, she taught me that, like, it's okay to feel sad and, like, to process emotions a little bit more. I know, I'm, like, literally getting teared up. I also use this spell when Alyssa, can I get a sad Gerb in the chat? A mournful Gerb for Alyssa. When Alyssa turned to light and returned to the spirit return to, I'm just gonna say return to where she, where she came from. And I found her collar in my bed. I think, I literally think it's like the day after my 18th birthday. I think also, oh, what role does the spellbook entry play into you becoming lifelong friends with the character? Okay. What do I still have? I have positive self-talk. Okay. Something cute and nice is, I think, I also, I used this spell before reconnecting with Millie, because I think it's like, so I left Chicago, Millie was like my best friend in Chicago, and we kind of lost touch because I moved to Colorado, she did something else with her magical year, and we just kind of like fell out of touch. And then reconnected, because I think also I don't stay in Colorado, so I'm in Colorado for a little while, and then I move like to another country. I think I kind of take after my mentor in that I'm not constantly traveling. Like she, I imagine, is like, doesn't really have like a home. She just kind of travels around. So I kind of will like stay a couple years in a place and then move to another place. So I think she and I reconnect in like, oh, like Paris. Like I am living in Paris. I'm making like these baked goods in Paris. And I find out that like Millie also is in Paris. I'm like, I haven't seen Chocolat, but yes. I am like the woman from Chocolat. But I think we reconnect in Paris, and I think we go on a date, and I think Millie and I get married. On a date in Paris. I think maybe when I'm in, you feel like called to move from city to city. Yeah, I think it's like I'm like, I think it's one of those things where it's like, we fall, like, on the date, we, like, fall back into, like, the old rhythms of our friendship really well, but also we're both, like, I'm imagining this is, like, I'm in my 30s, and we meet back up, and we get married, and she's, like, an elemental wizard, or witch, I mean, which leads to us going on more dates, which eventually leads to although maybe I wonder if we get married or if it's just like we don't get married but we're just like life partners, because I'm trying to imagine if a witch would get married. Like I feel like witches, like I can't imagine a cat getting married. Us becoming lifelong partners. At least. Maybe marriage, I don't know. So that's a positive self-talk. Jump over the broom together, yeah. Okay, so I have Baked with Love, I have that one. Oh, I have Find Familiar, I didn't do. I did that one, I did the Dewdrop one. Okay, so the two that I haven't tied back in are the Cleanup Spell. I'm trying to decide. I feel like my witch wouldn't have kids, because the Cleanup Spell would be good to be like, we use this for when we have kids, but I don't really feel like my witch would want kids. But maybe I use this spell when oh, come on, let me think. I'm trying to tie it back to Whistle, because they have that nursery. Although maybe I can't. Maybe that's, maybe I'm trying to make everything like too much of a neat little bow. What are these prompts? I know I don't have to use these prompts, but they are very fun. Um... What's the first spellbook entry? Oh, for apprentice. Okay. I absolutely think I have a dragon apprentice at some point. I think Whistle is like, hey, there's this dragon kid. Like, you know, dragons can shift to be, like, humanoid. There's this dragon kid, and she's, like, really powerful, but, like, it's, like, witch magic. Like, do you want to take her on as an apprentice? And so the first spell I teach my apprentice is this cleanup spell, because she makes some kind of huge mess. This is the first spell I teach to my dragon witch apprentice when she makes a huge mess trying to bake something. Sure. Okay, so I've got the cleanup spell. I've got the dewdrop cake spell. I've got the flying vehicle spell. I've got the inner rock spell. Okay, the only thing I don't have is find familiar. I think... I think the whole thing with Gerb makes me, like, look into, like, what are familiars? Why does this spell work? Well, actually, doesn't that fit? I'm trying to, I guess I'm trying to think of, like, something I would do later in life, but I feel like it's hard for me to think about that because I'm only 31. Gerb. So I feel like I'm imagining this witch now to be my age, and it's hard for me to think, like, past that, because I've experienced being a teenager, and this witch is kind of based on me. So I think here's what I think I'll say for the find familiar spell. To leave it a little bit open, because I'm not really thinking about, like, the end of this witch's life. I think after some time, this dough whisk, it starts to look, like, not as nice as it used to, and it starts to, like, the spells don't come as easily, and I remember Gerb bringing it back to me, and so I feel like I start doing research into, like, how to... what happens to a familiar, like, once they're gone, because I'm sure Millie doesn't have Gerb anymore by the time we've reconnected. So I feel like the end, like, the last thing that I'll do for this playthrough is, like, I am currently refining this spell to see if I can communicate with familiars after they pass, or to communicate with like, other planes of existence to figure out what's up with my dough whisk after another, 15 years of use. Gerb! And that's, I think, the last thing. I think that's the end of the magical year. And that was so wonderful. I almost cried multiple times during this game. Oops, I minimized that and now it is off of my overlay. This game is delightful. You should absolutely play it. Head over to the itch page that I just linked in the chat. If you don't already own this game, you should absolutely get it. Sorry, I was putting my kid to bed for most of that, but congrats on finishing. No, absolutely no problem. This was super, super fun. This was a delightful game. Yeah, like head over to itch and get it for yourself if you don't already have it. I was talking to Sky earlier in chat about maybe having a channel on Discord for people to play by post. I think that's what it's called. I don't know if I'm just like saying some random thing. I need to look because I haven't looked at the updated rules because I didn't know if the rules changed for like what I was doing or if the multiplayer, if it was just changing or adding multiplayer. But I want to look at the multiplayer rules, and we might do something on Discord for people to be able to play remotely and play this game together. Because I know Mila has it. I'm pretty sure Melanie has it. I think some other people do. And people should get it. Let me go over to my credits screen. So have a wonderful night. And I will see you all later. Bye!